My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. People fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not the world. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not the corrupt. No one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me say welcome yet again to another edition of the program, The Bottom Line. And this program comes your way every Friday at 8 o'clock Central European Time. That's about 6 o'clock Liberian time. And we do discuss issues of national concern, from politics to human interest. And my name is Linford Weah from Norway. And Paul Chilple is there in the UK along with Jamel Kamara, who's going to be coming on in split seconds. But let's say welcome to you, Paul, and tell us exactly how has your week been. It's been 1 week since last Friday. We were here together.
Well, I'll say good evening, Link. My brother from Norway, Linford. I've been good, and we've been blessed with the beautiful weather God has given us in Europe, and things have been very, very good. And I can say, well, thank God to have life and to be back here again to have a really good discussion. And I'll also say welcome to our viewers for being on Borderline again. I think we'll have a very interesting topic tonight, a fascinating one too, and we will climb out with some sort of laugh as well. So yeah, I'm happy to
Yeah,
be back.
yeah. They
And how
say,
your end?
oh, my end is good. The sun is shining. The lowest we recorded recently was I think yesterday morning when it was like 7 degrees plus, and that's still warm for us. So, but it's sinking, and sooner or later, maybe by the 15th of September, we might be hitting the zero level, and then we're
Yeah.
getting ready. But as I drive around, I see that the trees are still green, and when they are turning yellow, then we know that we are off for business. So we still enjoying some good weather. And like you said, we're going to be having a lot of interesting things to discuss, and we'll be looking at the exchange of letters between Mr. Cummings, the incoming president of Liberia, and Mr. George Weah, who is the incumbent and soon to be outgoing president. And so it's hit me up. And I don't know, I'm sorry that Jemai is not yet ready. I don't know whether he's ready. He could join us and probably tell us how he feels and how it's been. But on the fun side, let's look at Arsenal. Arsenal is still at the top of the table. There were many naysayers last week when we were talking last week Friday. They say, "Oh, the weekend coming, and you see what will happen to you." And the weekend came, and where are we? We still at the table, clear with 2 points.
Well, the thing is, I told you guys last week, and if you're a religious person, and then you believe so much in your religion, yeah, it happened. Jesus came into Arsenal, and we got three angels: Gabriel, and then end up with Jesus. So what do you expect? We're going to beat all these teams this year in the UK. This is the how they call it, the invincible are back. People may like it or not. I wish Jamal could come up because we're meeting United in the next two games when we at the Old Trafford, where we're going to beat them and tell them that we're back again in business. So I hope he come on.
Yeah, I know Jamal is listening. I know Jamal, but if you're ready, just signal or just give us a thumb up, and we can slash you in.
Yeah,
But
let's tell our viewers is before we get into our topic, just to talk a little bit while people sharing our platform. We're just talking about a little bit of my beloved team, Arsenal, that are topping the English Premier League at the moment. Everyone is chasing us. And in the next few months, when we're 15 points clear of the table, then people will know that we mean business. So I can see the United fan, Liverpool fan, they all jittering now how to catch Arsenal. The Invincibles are back.
it feels so good to be at the top there, and that's why they can't get over. And I posted today, I say, it feels good to be at the top of the EPL. Oh, man. And people are barking. But let's hope that we're going to, at least, even if, the thing is, whatever goes up must come down. That's what people must know. But at least we've been up there, okay? That's the history everybody looking for, right?
My man, the team is the only team that have to become the invincible team in the UK. And history tell history repeat itself. We're back. And this is why United now going all over the place, signing people left and right, but they're not going to catch up. We're just going to fly with this thing, man. It's the belief. You can't be having the most holy person in your midst, then you don't have that kind of belief. Oh, So I can see Jeremiah and others now, they pray every day to catch up with this team, but it's not going to happen. I tell you, I just
Okay,
love the
let's say
moment.
welcome to Sis Chadela Brown Chiruple in the UK, and also John Arku. Yeah, love back to you, John. John says love to all, and I don't know why Sis Chadela is laughing. Now, I know, because I think she's Arsenal supporter. Eh?
Well, I think so, because she sympathizes with Arsenal, so that's why. Because I mean, the thing is, man, I got my Arsenal kit already. I just can't believe this season where it's happening, man. We just going goals for fun. And this is why I want Jamal to come on and talk about his United that been, for some reason, they played badly the other day, but I mean, we gave them some little blessing. They won by the skin of their teeth. We're waiting to beat them and then send them back to where they belong. Let's move on, Lee, for today.
Okay, so viewers, John, Aku, and Sis Chadela, please share the video, invite your friends, and let's get moving. Paul, I think the political season is here. One of the shows, long time I said, when we were small beginner, I started picking with beating Calope, right?
Yeah.
There will be a lot of political Calope beaters. People will be beating Calope from here to there. And so a lot of things are happening. Let's just give a quick overview of what we'll be looking at tonight. Like we said, Mr. Cummings did write President George Weah making some recommendations. And Mr. George Weah, in return, probably, I don't know, but Paul will describe that in his own turn later, did return a letter also to Mr. Cummings. And it was like, from me to you, like when two women are, forcing or something, And so we'll be just slightly discussing some of what were in that letter, especially for the one from Mr. Cummings, because the one from President Weah, because I didn't read Mr. Cummings' own yet, but I did read Mr. Weah's own, so I know some of the things that he said. And then we'll look at there is something strange that the government is demanding, not even requesting, but demanding that all of the election magistrates around the country resign. And this is just on the heels of an election, major election coming. And then you want all of the magistrates with experience who have been working in this area. Some of them have been there for the past 3-4 elections, and you want them to resign. There must be some underlying cause. So we'll be bring TC on that. And but the major one, Paul has a video for us. Paul, you want to play that video? While our viewers while we stay share the video, the show to other people?
Yes, because it's election time and people are crossing all over. Some people are very angry of what is happening. Some people that went to Liberia to serve, they were not opportune like the other people that decided to steal. And some of them are very happy. So I'm going to share this with you guys. It's just to have a laugh. So hold on.
No audio.
The audio is coming. Hold on 1 second. Let me get into the main audio. It's just unlaughable, unbelievable what is happening in Liberia at the moment with all of these things. So I will play this for our audience to see. This is the new music that was made by Eugene Fagon, and I want our audience to listen to.
I cannot get me for late here to drive for the 7,000 hour car. The ones who were camping for. That's stupid. That means we're camping for your stepson to wash a car. We're shopping 350 US dollars. That means we're camping. That means we're camping. Or you feel like we're to be lobster and he's showing a baby chicken and driving at the 8,000 hour car. That means we're camping. That means we're camping for Janako to be controller general. Why a web that PPCC plus? That means we're camping. That means we're camping for Betty Yende to be head of place. Why a web that one of the big women to NASCAR? That means we're camping. That means we're camping for Emma Castro to be the head of NAFA. My husband is a consultant to Marita. That means we're camping. Oh, that this world can be so family. There's the how can I go into detail? That's stupid. That this world can be. Oh, that's stupid. 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 Oh, that's stupid. 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 Oh. Makes extra.
But Paul, I mean, it sounds good. All the music is good, huh? How do you see it?
I think it's a very good music. I love it, man. I was dancing the music when I was home. And yeah, I mean, you may hit and let Eugene Falcon. The guy is brilliant, and he just said what he wanted to say. This is a very good music. I think it should be the number one on our chat in our chat room here.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah, the
you know,
music is nice.
somebody forwarded it to me, and then I've listened to the video without the music, without the beat, right? And then I said, "Well, this man." So I just closed it, but then I mistakenly play, and I was playing. So I said, "Well, what's playing?" And then I listened to it. I was like, "Wow!" I mean, and the guy did well to put a tune. But you know, let's briefly look at what Eugene Falcon was saying. I'm not a fan of Eugene Falcon, and I can lay out several things that Eugene Falcon did that turned me off with him. First and foremost, Eugene Falcon is a loudmouth talker. Nobody can now take Eugene Falcon seriously. And for me, not me, and I will give you a couple of things. I'm in the media, and if I was appointed government spokesman, especially Deputy Information Minister for Public Affairs, whatever you say, you are one of the last people to speak in government, because whatever you say will interpret government's policy. What you do will present what government is thinking. Your action, your utterances are very important to the public. And so Eugene Falcon, after he was appointed barely under 2 months, the first thing the fellow did was one day he was, according to him, driving to work, and wanted to get on Facebook Live. He was at one school compound somewhere between Famua House and EFW Junction, or maybe 15th Street, somewhere between there. And he said he was driving and he saw a couple of students standing at the gate, and then they had problem with the school administration, and he went there. He started demanding that they put the children back in the school. You can't do that. You are not education minister. What you do, if you see things like that and you are concerned, call your colleagues at the education ministry and report to them. They will know how to handle it, because they got their own guidelines and principles by which they operate. That was number one thing he did. He went against the rules. The second thing, Eugene Falcon was one time on his way somewhere. He met a group of Liberians in Morocco who was stranded. They had some issue with the airline or whatever. And he went there. He started to display himself. I'm the Deputy Information Minister for Public Affairs. You put these people, you do this. He started shouting at people. You don't do that. Diplomatically, you don't do that. There's different people in our space. So if anything, even if you're, as long as you didn't see your citizens in handcuffs, even if you saw them in handcuffs, if you saw them in blood, the first thing you would do was to arrange hospital for them. And if you saw them in handcuffs, the first thing you would do is establish diplomatic links with the authorities there. But you don't go and post. People don't care about you. They don't know you. Okay, that's one of the things he did. And Eugene Falcon, he sat down. He came from the diaspora. Okay, so he ran away from Liberia in 1990. He ended up in America. He was in Ghana, according to people. And then he started calling people in the diaspora who are Liberian small, who are well-to-do and very rich, more than him. He started calling them cartoon pushers. Okay, he started using all of the negatives on there. When he gets on his show, he will denigrate all other people. And today, they take a spoon from his mouth. Then he goes to America and sits there and begin to cry foul and start talking about they gave him smoking car, all the talking he did. He didn't get anything. Mirabro gave him smoking car out of sympathy, and they gave him a stupid job. You knew you had a stupid job, and you were talking all the things. Or since the job was stupid, is it the job that made you stupid as well? But Paul Flo, you want to say something?
Yeah, the thing is, the guy want to hustle, and the hustle he want to hustle, his friends decided to steal and leave him out. So now this sanction that came, he realized that he should have getting something good. That's what when he mentioned, oh, Marlboro, give me old car, it's all frustration. How come I want to steal too? I didn't have that opportunity to steal. So let me play this thing again for our listener while we ask them to share the show. We'll play for the last time, then we'll get into our main topic. I think by then Jamal should be on the show. So I should play that again for our viewers. This is this is the #1 music in town at the moment. Eugene Fagon, you like it, you don't like it, just listen. I think it's the #1. So here we go.
I cannot get me for late here to drive for the $7,000 car. The watch what camping for? That's stupid. That is what camping for your steps on to wash a car. With Weah shopping, 350 you better. That is what camping. That is what camping. For you like to be lobster and he showing the baby chicken and driving at the $8,000 car. That is what camping. That is what camping. For Ghana go to be controller general. Why a web that PPCC boss? That is what camping. That is what camping. For Betty Yegan to be head of place. Why a web that run the big woman to NASCAR? That is what camping. That is what camping. For Emma Castro to be the head of NAFA. My husband is a consultant to Maritime. That is what camping. Oh, that is what camping. So from the best I'm going to detail. That's stupid. That is what camping. Oh, that's stupid. 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 Oh, that's stupid. 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 Oh.
I think the flow is getting hotter and hotter. I think I see Jamal trying to fix it. So and Andre is also there in the background. So folks, get ready. Normally when we fly, when you guys are already boarded the plane, they say fasten your seatbelts. And when you fasten your seatbelt, then you know now you're not getting out from that flight, you're going now. So fasten your seatbelt. And let's welcome Rita Menon, Ruth, our sister Nancy Ruth Anderson, and Taylor Gibson, Chadella Brown, and John Aku. I think a few of the people I can recognize here. The rest of them are not identified because we don't see the names. But whoever is here, please share the video and let's have some real talk tonight. And I don't know, Antrik and Jalo. Antrik Jalo is one person. Antrik and Jamel, if you hearing me, you can signal and then we can bring you on. But Paul, let's flow. I want us to talk a little bit about this, about all the accusations that Eugene Franco made. Like I said, I'm not a fan of his. I really don't care for him or how he feels. But I mean, he reveals some things. Okay, first let's welcome Antrik and Jamel. Guys, do you hear us?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say welcome to you guys. And how you doing?
I'm good.
Jamal, I guess you're very serious because of the United issue. You put a smile on your face for our audience.
Paul, your friend, don't spoil the boy evening, man.
I just want to let Paul know that he's so excited about this football stuff. We just play how many games? Not less than 10 games, and he's just all over the place. I think you should wait. At the end of our life, after playing 20 games, we'll know where the season is going. Football in this country is unpredictable. So don't be so excited about a little win you have the couple of games. So that's all over the place. So I know
Paul, you know what I mean? People they are late bloomers. They're waiting for a last little time.
So let's get to real basic. Let's discuss what we have to discuss here, and the football will decide in a couple of weeks in this football. Don't worry much about that.
Before we get to real business, Jamal, how are you? How's Manchester?
I'm fine. We're doing great. The weather is great, and everybody's fine here. Thank you.
Right. Before you guys came out, we have the #1 hit at the moment on the market. Eugene Falcon music #1 so far in the UK. What you make of the new song?
I'll let my sister to flow. Trick will take the first stage and I'll come back later.
You muted, Andrea.
Andrew, we don't hear you.
Um, and Jamel, the question is being posed to you, so can you go
All
ahead
right,
and
okay, yeah,
flow
no
before
worry.
I come in?
Eugene, I mean, I'm not surprised. I know he's one of the loud mouths in Liberia. He's a praise singer. And while we're hearing from him now, when he was a deputy minister of information, he didn't say anything. And he was fighting for the revolution, the word revolution. We heard a lot from him when he was in government. And now, because he's been thrown away and thrown out of the, he ran out of the candy bar, now he's want to blow whistle. I don't want to listen to him because he's struggling now in America. We heard of him when he had an issue with Honorable Edwin Snow. He was fighting for a life. They are put in jail. You know, all those things happened. He didn't tell us that he was having smoking car. He didn't tell us that we had out of sympathy. Mary Brock gave him car. Why he want to blow whistle right now? He should have done that years back or some months back. So he's just wasting the time. Nobody want to listen to him. I won't listen to him either.
Yeah, that's right. Andre, what y'all take, and then we can flow into our program.
Yeah, for me, in every thing, I see a good side of it. The good side is that Weah is indeed corrupt. That is a confirmation to prove to the international community that yes, indeed, the sanction that was brought upon this government is not in any form of hatred for the government or whatever way, but it is brought upon them because of their rampant corruption, human right abuse, and so many other things. And for me, I advocate for the right of women and children because I'm a victim. And I continue to speak out and use my voice. Liberia is a country that there's too many abuse of our young girls and our women. Because of that, you see, Liberian women do not have any self esteem anymore. Because, yeah, they make you feel like our sisters, especially the little ones coming up, they are nothing. How can a president who is
So the, the,
supposed
the,
to,
the the question is, before we get to that, the question was, how about this Falcon revelation with this
yeah, but
music?
that's what I'm getting at.
Because
That's what
we're
I'm
going
getting
to,
at
at
because
some point,
Fagon revealed in his recording that he's not going to campaign for George Weah to buy a $50,000 car for a small girl. So that's just confirmed that Weah is a complete abuser. He's abusing our young girls and buying them the sum of car that costs 50,000, which is wrong. The money that is supposed to be used to help those girls to educate themselves and try to maybe send them abroad to study and try to be useful to themselves. But he's using them, he's abusing them. That is a sexual abuse. You are violating these young girls and buying them expensive car. God knows what else he's doing. Maybe he's also engaged into violating young men. Men are also being violated.
I don't think we should speculate here at the moment. So
No, it's not
let's
speculation. This is
stick
a
to
confirmation. This is
yeah,
a confirmation because coming from Eugene Fagon, he revealed a lot of things. Somebody in nepotism, when a woman is being appointed as minister, the husband also as minister. So it's a good thing because yeah, the other sanction that is coming is going to sweep the entire government,
so
including him
Linford,
also.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think for me, the sticky point here is whether Eugene Fangon should be considered, whether people should have sympathy on him, and why is he coming out this late? Because you see, the thing here is,
No,
me,
I'm
I
not.
look at,
I'm not going to have sympathy on Eugene Fagon. You know why? Because that same Eugene Fagon who is putting out garbage now and telling the Liberian people this is what the government is doing, and this was what had happened before was the same Eugene Fagon that was defending the same so-called government and saying they are the best. Even, I can say, if we go back to 3 weeks, he was still defending the same government. So whatever he get is good for him. No one's
And
going to feel sorry for him.
probably, I think, for me, I also look at it from another angle. Paul and Chima and Antrik are maybe my theory may not hold water, but because the sanctions are being prepared, sanctions are in the making, and Eugene Fagon, trust me, he was number 2 man at the Ministry of Information.
Yeah.
And he served in his government, and the sanctions are clear, and they will target people. So he's now in the US, which is very easy. If they sanction him, it will even bite him more. And so he tried to play a clever game and start to distance himself and pretend as if to say he was a victim of this government, when in fact he was in the mainstream. So probably that's one of the reasons why he now comes out at this time to begin to, review some sketchy things that were very common. These things are common. That even a real patriotic librarian will know that these things are happening. He didn't have to tell us for us to know anyway.
Mm-hmm. But it's a confirmation. It's a
Yeah,
confirmation.
I agree, because
and the
in
thing
this
is,
sense, it comes from the horse's own mouth. It comes from an inner circle.
but the thing is, one thing I can tell anyone, you cannot deceive the Americans because they know everything. They have people in every sector within the country. They are getting information from firsthand. Even in the so-called Weah circle, the same people that eat and dine with them are the same people that give information and tell the American government this is this and this. America is superpower. You cannot play games with them because they know everything. They have access to everything. This is why when they post sanction on anyone, before you look, they already know where you get all your accounts, what the properties that you have, everything about you, they finish running down everything. So what can you hide? If Eugene Fagon had involved in any corruption thing, trust me, no matter what he say, he tried to play smart, he will be on whatever list it is. Whether he's
Okay,
out or this or that, he cannot play victim.
fair enough. Fair enough. We can sit down here and speculate and wish, but for me, the good thing here is that the sanctions. Nobody told the Americans to do it. They did it, and they know what they have yet in the pipeline. But let's go to our topic for today or for tonight. And welcome to those of you who we cannot recognize here yet. But please share the video, and you can leave your comments. We'll be reading your comments as we go along. And our main topic for tonight is the response from President Weah to Mr. Cummings' letter that he wrote him. And let me be frank. I have not laid hands on Mr. Cummings' letter, so I don't know what's in there. Okay, besides what I've been reading from the internet, but I had the opportunity to read the one from Mr. Weah or President Weah, and he made a lot of things. He said a lot of things, and some of the things that he said, for me, I didn't expect that would come from the president, because the president should be the last to make certain kind of statements. The president should be the last to report, to make certain reporters. He shouldn't go down like that, because most of what people say, the criticisms should serve as what impetus for him to improve what he has to do. Okay, and so for him to respond to Mr. Cummings in that manner, I feel that that was a little bit, if I would grade it, that was a little bit of very low caliber. Jamal, you've been silent. I don't know whether you've read any of the letters, the one from Mr. Cummings to Weah and the one from Weah to Mr. Cummings.
Yeah, 1 second. I did read the 2 letters. From, are you with me? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah.
I did read the letter from Honorable Cummings to Mr. the President. You see, the part of the matter here is, it's just funny. I like the letter. I like what Mr. Cummings did. For the almost 5.5 years, President George Weah has not been saying anything, and he's not been open up. And somebody pushed him to speak, And that was one of the good things I saw in the whole thing. Whatever Mr. Cummings have said, and prompting him to speak, or who have ever written a letter for him, we know that this person had a lot of people around that read that letter. I know he did not read that letter. It was a fine written letter, I must admit. But the fact of the matter, it just like it was not connected to the facts. You could see the letter, but it was something like it's an angle. You could see the angle in the letter. Like you said, President, he let him go because he said Mr. Cummings took the public to address him, so he will address him coming to the public. That's fine. But it's good that he's coming out to speak now. So we also will have, I will appreciate that if he come and face the press, the media. That would be a good thing. Since he became president for 5.5 years now, he has not come out to have the face with the media, the press, the public, to address pertinent issues in the country. If other politicians will be writing these letters and the president will be addressing it, they have enough time to address it. And that's a good thing. So this is good, in a way, good for democracy, good that we could know his standing, and those things you said will come to the nitty-gritty of the letter that the president wrote in response to Mr. Cummings, which we will be looking into. But in the meantime, it was a good conversation between two. The public seems to see what's going on. People got the other side. People can see it from a different angle. But I think that it was a good letter Mr. Cummings wrote, and the president replied. So it's up to how we see it from a different angle. But it's good that we have pushed him to, Mr. Cummings pushed him to speak, push him to he have not spoken for years. And if he can speak, if it's his own words, I challenged him to come out and tell the Liberian people this is what he have said, and you can face the people to talk to. Let's have a conversation, and I think you should do this. That's what I would say from the country with regard to the letter.
Yeah, Jamal, you're right. Before Andre comes in, that letter, it was a good thing that Mr. Cummings did, because what happened for long, we've been accusing our opposition of not speaking. And it seems to me lately, Mr. Cummings have been pushing Weah. So something have pushed into the edge now, because he had plenty of time making buka, dancing buka, singing all kind of music, because there was no opposition. Now, somebody is actually getting on his nerves that he able to come out to write, whether he wrote it or somebody wrote it. But the fact is that it's getting to them. But then I will take you guys back. The pressure is on. If you see former deputy or assistant minister Eugene Fagon is hitting his former boss, and then the opposition, the main challenger, is hitting him from all angles, that alone is something that gets into him. And as we go further in this program, Mr. Cummings is in Nigeria. He had an interview. Right after his interview, this guy came out with the letter. So something is really pushing Weah to the edge. And now he can come to the public. Let him, Mr. Cummings, have a debate so we can see what made of this guy that had a free ride.
Before other people come in, look, this is not a debate. You can come out. The last time I remember a couple of months back I think is the chairman of a Spoon asked Tua, he said, what is his name, Samuel Tua? When President Weah is coming to the television to speak to us? Oh, you will come. We're arranging. Oh no, it's not Tua. He was, I think Tua or Magay, one of them, asking him to come. You tell me, where has the president come up from to talk to Liberian people face to face if it's not a program, if it's not been stage managed, if it's not been programmed to speak to us? This is the issue. So this guy is not prepared. But the thing is, the atmosphere is good. We like it. This argument is healthy for the community. Let the argument goes on.
Yeah.
And like Paul said, I think something had to trigger the guy to talk. Toto, every time when I talk, I give a parable, you say a little give parable. You see, Toto, if you don't put fire on the back, Toto can run. But when in peace, if we do that, they say, oh, but just put small fire there, you see how that guy start running. Now, when I read a letter, I follow every sentence, every word. And I was like, the person who wrote this, if this is Weah's writing, then why he can't talk? And the person who wrote, I posted something said, the person who can write for the president, if the person could speak through him off, that's what I wrote, that's what I posted. If the person could speak through him off, I think all of the problems in Liberia will be solved. Because, of course, I will not condemn that letter. That letter was well written.
Yes.
It was like a revenge. It was like trying to get at somebody, why did you write me this letter? So I'll get at you. And what they didn't know, the people who wrote the letter, what they didn't know is that they're doing more damage to Weah than good. Because, like I said, as president, if people make recommendation to you, even if they write you don't need to come down. So it means you ruling about 5 million people. If everybody begin to write you or say things, is that the way you will respond? Then you'll be better responding to people than doing your work. You see? So, but like Paul said, at least something is making the guy to talk. Who knows? Maybe he might come, or he might meet a challenge to say, okay, let me debate the Cummings mayor. Send a mayor thing, he can trigger me. Let me debate him. But I am sure, and I can 100% assure you that that letter, Weah did not even read it. People just wrote it for him. And if he knows some of what they wrote in there, he doesn't know that it is condemning to him internationally. Because I would not imagine Joe Biden or Barack Obama or George Bush responding to opposition leader like that. No. You would rather prove.
So it said Linford, he froze, and yes, so you're right, Linford. In a way, if you go through the letter, I think it's almost like two person or I could say two gentlemen having an unnecessary exchange on Facebook like kids, because as he is not seeing himself as the father of the land. Some of those things, like the behavior, even when you go by, like some little girl will say, oh, remember when we're in school, you did X, Y to me. This guy is saying, oh, I visited a refugee camp. I went to this place. Where were you? That kind of childish behavior, like, oh. So the letter, it become very interesting, and I like it. So yeah, he come on now, say he can write letter. Let he come on now and have a press interview. Let the press ask him question about the ills in the society. Yeah, he be able to answer. He shouldn't be hiding
the nation, because this is what the people
This is the time. Let him know this guy had a free ride for the past 5 years, free ride.
6 years,
he got away with a lot of things. It's time now that he meet the Liberians that put him there. Yeah, look, I mean, I don't know. Andre comes in before we get back to
Paul, you said it all. He had a free ride all through the hardship of the Liberian people. He had never come out to address the people of Liberia. Instead, he will go to his Foklikon church and throw jabs at people and gossip and all lot of things. But now, and you made a point where you say after Mr. Cummings had that interview with the radio station in Nigeria, because I also listened to that interview today, this afternoon, when I was at work. And yeah, Mr. Cummings said it all. And what he said in his interview, that's what triggered Weah to put out that letter. Because Mr. Cummings' message was clear to the world at large that this government is corrupt. They failed to do what they promised to do. And this is what he is going to do when he's given the chance. He stated out his agenda briefly and short, and everyone will understand that, yes, this is the best choice for Liberia. And Mr. Weah is a mistake, and he will be out come 2023. So I read a brief of his letter. I'm like, ooh, first of all, who wrote this letter for him? Because we all know that he cannot compose. He don't even know the use
No,
of
but it's obvious. It's obvious that the president has his, press.
No. When we're talking about presidents, Madam Salif,
normally,
Madam
I
Salif
mean,
is
let's
capable of
call a
constructing.
spade. Let's call a spade, Andre. If you begin president today, you're not going to sit down and start writing your own letter. You give the instruction.
No, some Madam Salif can sit down and tell you what she wants to be in her speech, but can George Weah tell you from his head what he wants to be in his speech? No.
Yes, Andre, that's why he told the writer that I went to Bishop Burrow camp. I went to this camp. I went to that camp. So, Mr. Cummings, where were you? He asked a question.
Yeah, but that's a question.
Well, there is something that he said in that letter, I think it's from the very opening part, where he frowned on the idea that the letter was published. In fact, he said he saw the letter in a local daily, in one of the newspapers. And so I don't know if that is against the rule. Why is it that his reply is also on the internet. And the first
Yeah.
thing is that this was no secret letter. So Mr. Cummings was not asking him anything in secret. Mr. Cummings was not making anything secret. So, and the media is very curious. Let's say that Mr. Cummings has hidden a letter from the media, maybe putting in envelope or sending in Weah's private email account. You think we would have heard about it? They would pretend
No.
as if they didn't see it.
Yeah.
They'll
Trash it.
pretend like they see it. So
Mhm.
it was better that the letter go viral before he can even see it. So that there is no way, and there are several things. Paul, let me tell you, you said it rightly. There are several things that push this guy or these guys to write a letter. Trust me, if this letter had gone to Weah's private box, inbox,
Mhm.
nobody will hear about it. Okay? But the fact that it went out, everybody read it before. So they were forced to respond at 118. And then why did they put that response on the internet too?
On the
If this
internet,
is not so,
yeah.
and he forgets to know that his life is no more private. He's a president. He's our president.
Yes.
So
It's a
we cannot
public
keep anything
figure.
secret about him. Okay? The only thing we can keep secret is the thing that he can do behind closed door that we don't see. But if we see it, we'll bring it out.
So Linford,
Yeah.
in Mr. Cummings' letter, there were recommendations made and asking the government to step, because Admiral George, they made a revelation in that letter that they might make him police director. He'll go after the opposition voices that. So Mr. Cummings was just pointing facts to him in the open letter. But that open letter now, he did not respond. But I'm telling you, it's the interview
The
in
interview,
Nigeria,
yes.
and Mr. Cummings is throwing the West Coast.
Yes.
This is why now, getting to Mr. Weah, that's why they came out with that letter. The thing is, the letter is more like, the Frenchman say petit. You see, like, oh, I did this, what were you? I did that, what was you? I did.
Yeah.
So all those little things, it's just petty. And something, so instead of writing, Jamal Sally, the men need to come out and meet the press and let them drill him too. Like Mr. Cummings all over the place.
Yeah,
So
but you see,
this is the time
let me tell you,
that
it's easier said than done. From the onset of this government, we are lied. The whole government lied so much. They were
Yeah.
engaged in a lot of things and they lied so much. So now, if Weah comes out, even if he just made one sentence, you know the volume of questions that will come from journalists to him, because there's things that he said that he had not done, or things that they promised they are not done. So this is where he's afraid to even come out now. I mean, the guy is entangled in a web of lies, corruption, and all kinds of things. So for him to come out, I don't see that. Probably on the campaign trail, he will come out and might easily
my man.
avoid the press.
Linford, guys,
Yeah.
let's be honest here. During the 2017 elections and the past elections, 2011 to 2017, did you see we are having any public debate?
No, he ran away.
No, he did not have any. And listen, you should follow the record and history. We shouldn't be making ourselves feel good that we are going to come out and say face the press. That's out of the question. This brother is not ready to do it. He's not. We know his limitations. We know his shortcomings in terms of speaking out there. We know that he can't do it. That's one. Second to that, he reacting to the letter, to Mr. Cummings' letter. I think if you take us back, Mr. Cummings wrote a couple of letters in the past asking him that he wanted to help the government. He wanted to support the government. That was not being critical. That was supportive. You know, and those letters went to him. I did not pay attention. Probably Mr. Cummings took different route, saying I believe Mr. Cummings is a very professional person. He won't write a letter put in the public domain without sending a copy to the president. That would be disrespect.
No, I know he sent a copy to him.
Yeah, but what he said, if you did read the letter, he said, if you did read the president's letter, say that instead of sending a letter, you alluded to writing, putting in the public, domain.
Right.
I mean, that definitely says I was not addressed to. So he was like, instead of sending it to me, he sent it to the public. So I know Mr. Cummings will write a letter to him directly, which he may have ignored. And I know he did. And Mr. Cummings saying, in order to get this guy attention, let's put it in the public, give it to the press. He won't have done that. You know Mr. Cummings very well. He won't have put it in the public domain without him being addressed. That would be disrespect to his office as the president. Even he's been in opposition, you can't do that to the president. So if you are there, anybody says they can write an open letter to the president, or even without putting it into the press, you can do that. But Mr. Cummings, as a professional person who would have done that, you will write him professional and tell him this is what we want you to do for the country. And if you have had a chance to go through the letter is very clear and clean What he has written is nothing derogatory in the letter. It's nothing about I've done this, I've done that. He's not even praising himself. Mr. Cummings is telling him his commitment as a president to the people of Liberia and to Liberians, to Liberia and to the country. That's what he said. And the brother is all over the place. If you did read the letter, he spoke about Mr. Cummings being in the government. I know they were doing that or stuff. So probably I don't know. You may know you have no. I don't know if Mr. Cummings actually worked or is if he did sit in any government government boards of the government boards that he worked, that he signed documents or contracts. And when the president was a senator, when the 66, I don't know how many numbers of bogus contract he signed when he was a senator. So there were a lot of things that they said were completely contradictory to, the argument, the point Mr. Cummings raised. So fine written letter, but not to the point. Well written English, full of too much of, communication. You have to go and check your dictionary to follow some words. I can remember some of the students from University of Liberia written letters because that letter was not even it was not something communicable because a lot of things were said that it does not even represent Mr. Cummings. He didn't work in government. If he did, I don't know, but probably you tell me. And other things that he mentioned in that letter about he went to refugee camps. I think we all ran out of the country, went to different camps in West Africa. You tell me if you did see any foundation from Honorable Weah giving help to Liberia out there. I didn't see any. Probably he helped some of his friends that was trying to out of the country. That could be possible, but like going out there giving help, like mentioning that letter that he helped Liberians out there. He went to various camps in Ivory Coast. He went to Ghana. He went to Guinea. I don't know of any. If you know of it, I don't know. So probably he been helped. He may have helped personally. Nobody knows the Weah Foundation.
I know he went to Ghana several times. There was a nightclub called Jokos. That's where he used to go gallivanting. Apart from that, he never went to Bushabura camp. So that's the fact.
The thing is, for he going to those refugee camps, he was paid by the United Nations to do those jobs.
No, he was not
free.
He never went to any refugee camp.
He was not with the UN.
He was not. He was not.
I think what Paul said was the thing. In the refugee camp, there were beautiful Liberian women that left, and they were living, in several refugee camps, and they were vulnerable. So a man like Weah, who comes from Europe, he's playing football, he comes there. So women were leaving their boyfriends, girls were leaving their boyfriends just to go to him. That's what he wanted. So Weah didn't go there because he was sorry for the people.
We got a lot of kids that in the UK here that came from the camp, and they can testify. He never one day fought in that camp. They all here.
Yeah. We know
that he was always in Ghana. They were going to his hotel to beg for money. That's all.
We know Liberians that organize NGOs and foundations that help Liberians in refugee camps. We know a couple of them. I can name a few, but I don't know of any of the president did when the time he was in his prime. So why he would be writing those things in a letter?
But he don't. He never had any.
Well, the thing about it, the thing is the bottom line behind this is the president is coming out to speak today is, it's hitting him. His words crumbling on him. The issues around him, he can't handle anymore. And I think other politicians should come out, opposition should come out and make this statement. Look at the recent song, probably you have heard it. He's saying against the old man Joe Barker. Personally attacking the old man. But the old man said that, those things you can't do that. If you have issues, come on, address the nation. The best way of doing it, go and sing song because you can't face the public, you can't face the press. This is a shame.
So, on that note,
I think last week
the soup student also made a music on the president. And I really love for you guys to listen to that music too. Because it seems that everybody is making music in I think Bottom Line should come up with their own music as well.
But that has become the means of communication. Music.
I think we touched this point last week in the other edition of the program. When if we retrospect a little bit, when Tower was in power, when power was about to leave Tower, and when Tower was about to leave power, both ways. We saw the upheavals from the opposition at the time, Moja and how you call them, the PAL and other groups. Okay, the ride was not smooth as it used to be or it should be. Okay, then we come to the war years when Doto over everybody. I was sitting here was small ball. We're in the street for almost 2 months, from April to July. Native woman sponsor behind the people. And then things started going smoothly for some time. those transition. In fact, before we even transitioned to civilian government, things got rough in his own military camp. Their revolution started eating each other, killing each other. When he became president, fast forward, things got worse. And then people started saying, "Monkey, calm down." I don't know whether it was him that song was signed for. And then he left. Then what happened? When Taylor, who brought the war, everybody voted for him. You came a man, you came a power, vote for you. When he was in power, things started getting rough. And then you will see that uneasiness in the leadership. Okay, so it is Weah's turn. And Weah looks around. His city mayor was in America recently. He didn't get any buffets. He had to run back to Liberia, according to information. Just in the same time, 3 of his top government officials, especially the Minister of Presidential Affairs, let me tell you, people may not know the importance of that particular position. That is the first man the president will meet every morning, besides his family that is sleeping in the room, besides his wife. The next person he will meet every morning. My man, what happening? What we got to do today? They will brainstorm, or they brainstorm before he even goes to bed. So for them to sanction him, and his Solicitor General, somebody that would defend the government, okay? And Bill Traore was just a financier. So Bill Traore is not very important to him. Because anybody going to the port, he can still use the person to get money. But the point I'm trying to make here is that Weah is feeling certain things that we don't feel. Yeah. I mean, Paul, you are the regional coordinator for ANC Europe, and you got your corps of officers. What if you call one person and the person says, "My man," or you look at things crumbling, you're not getting cooperation, things hitting you hard. So Weah knows what's up, and this is how leaders can begin to slip grip on power. Okay, now look at the kind of statement he made, or the kind of reply that he sent to Mr. Cummings, even going down to the point and saying that during the wartime, where was Mr. Cummings? Where were you? So the people that Mr. Cummings' life that important, that people, millions of your people in America, Europe, all over the world, everywhere, the 7 continents, the ones that are inhabitable, Liberian people live there. Why do you think those people ran away? You see death coming and people running away. So Cummings is an immortal man that he was supposed to come, right? When he's working already. So, and why didn't he kind of live in Liberia? Why was he out and coming? Okay. So, all the petty things will touch him. Even, let me tell you, people who are close to that man now, somebody in the morning when they take good morning, he can get vexed. Trust me. Because this is how people miss grip on power. And when that is happening, my friend, it's a serious, serious thing.
Leaford, you're right. You remember in the early 80s when the late Grady Allison, when they were giving a speech I think it was a John Chamber in the Capitol building there, and the students were kind of protesting and hard casted when Grady Allison used that word, move or be removed, when it went for the students. From that time, Doe never had peace until he left. Now, we are this similar thing when he beat the student during the 26 program.
Yeah.
And that alone, because the people you beating, that everybody children.
Yeah.
You could, if they will, people are serving in your government, it's their children. So when things start crumbling on you, that is what you get. And this is what he keep getting now. It's going all over the place. They're going for the lieutenant. They're going for everyone. His own people now don't want to know that Fagone coming out, they're speaking out loud. If people keep pushing them, there'll be more things coming out. Because now the guy who was the strong defender of him, he's not in the picture.
And so, who knows? Magé says some things.
Exactly. So
I read somewhere today, I don't know whether it's a newspaper, but somebody was trying to quote something. And the person says Magé is trying to do something like, the sanction, right? So if they put sanction on you and they tell you, they give you options sometimes just for arrangement. That okay, look, listen, we know that you work in this government, you know a lot of things. Can you tell us some things? Probably we'll make some adjustments, with your sanctions. If it was supposed to last for a certain time, we can 5 years, we can make it like 3 years. So can you refuse something? So who knows? I read that thing today, but I just don't remember where. So it could be that we are also on ESA, children say, look,
It
listen,
was
this
from one of the
President
talk
have to say
show
something.
hosts. From one of the talk show hosts from Stonebridge. Stonebridge, right?
Yeah,
This
Stonebridge.
guy. Yes,
Yeah.
Stonebridge. Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to share something with you guys before Jamal come in so he can have his take. You see what happening here? They on each situation now. There's a lot of little things has been creeping in play. So the things that are creeping is some of the things what Jamal talked about. This guy does not want to give interview. He's actually right. So there's something I wanted to play for the audience here to listen to. I'm trying to find this. There was a BBC journalist that had an interview with President Weah regarding the 16 billion, the money that got missing. And that
Oh,
clip, I had it somewhere. It just take us back to where it all started from, the misappropriation of funds and all that. That's the clip I'm looking for. So while I'm looking for this, you guys can flow. Let me find it.
Yeah, probably Jamal can come in, or if not, then we can.
No, I was just trying to come in with whatever we are doing right here is the sanctions against those three permanent people in Liberia. It says a lot of people, but you will find out that one of those Facebook comment you will find come around. Those surrogates from the government will be supporting. Oh, the president have made my day. The president have said that. If this are one out of the thousands and millions of people that are struggling to survive. And we keep saying that we're still hailing the president, and when the country is going down the line. So, and we say, it's still disheartening that we see our people still praising the president when the country's people are suffering at the highest level. So forget about being partisan politics. Liberians are really struggling right now. That's a fact. We all know that. We all know that. And Magay may not have the chance to come back. And let me go back to you guys who were saying concerning about those information about 3 or 5 years. What the American government sanction is all about, they made allegations. What the government of Liberia need to do was to ask them for facts to prove it so they can put a charge against something that they can put a charge against. Those three guys, they can bring in the court of law. That's what the government need to do. Ask them to provide proof what they've said about them so they can go take the court of action. But now the government is not willing to do that. The U.S. government hold on to that information. So that's how it goes. But as it stays like that, he still enjoys government security, government facility, government protection. He goes around. It shouldn't be like that anymore. So we should
That's
have a
right.
replacement. So like, a lot of things happening in Liberia are not looking into that. So you see, if you go to a well-structured and organized society like we see around here, when those things happen, then you've been put in the hand of the people that should judge you, question you. They'll be looking deep into your history, your question. I mean, those that were asked sanctioned, then you'll be looking into the profile and see what can we do? Can we put a case against the court of law? But it's not the Liberian government that put it against them, but it should give you a sense of direction. We look at them. What are they really doing? What judge you have said in your letter is really meant to say that he's been campaigning against corruption. So you should call this guy to book and ask for proof against these people. He's not doing it. This is why, but Liberians are not looking at that. And the church leaders are going to pray for this guy. The people are praising him, getting to the back. You see, the situation is confusing all over the place. So when the people are trying to do the right thing, our people are singing for them because they want to get something, penance from those people. I didn't want to go because I heard that Maggie was a very, very generous person. She's very generous. You could give money out to anybody. And now what is happening, we were saying something here. People fail to understand that McGill he's been prayed, he's the prayer today because of George Weah. He's been protecting George Weah. He's a victim. So at one point, like what Fagon is doing, coming out and say things that he did not say years back, McGill will be pushed to the point that he will release some information to us.
Yeah.
Because he's not him. It's like he will protect the president. Whatever he's been doing, he's been for the president. So the president will throw his hand and hide his hand, and McGill will be doing the dirty jobs. He was Aaron Boys.
Okay, you just reminded me of something in Weah's letter also, where he talked about Mr. Cummings saying that talking something about Mankiel, and he said Mankiel has asked to be investigated, and the government is going to do everything to investigate him. So if the government will conduct any investigation on McGill, given his proximity to the president, and looking at the kind of activities, you think there will be any credible investigation? And in fact, even if there should be any investigation, will the outcome of that investigation have any effect on the investigation by the Liberian government have any effect on the outcome of the sanction itself?
I'll answer that earlier, but let me tell you what happened here. Steve, tell me if any action is going on in Liberia with regard to asking the government to bring those guys to book. The House of Legislation should be in action to be asking the president to do something. Not only the advocate groups in Liberia, the civil groups should be asking the government to take action. Nobody's doing anything. You see what's happening right now? That's the part we're looking at. In the society where you must be living right now, where the government will be under pressure, the president will be under pressure to bring those guys to book. But nobody's saying anything. There's a legislation fighting for the 10,000 or 10,000 US dollars they receive, because anybody speaks about it, you'll be cut off. The advocate groups are receiving brown envelopes. People that should be speaking, they are being paid, they are unpaid, government paid salaries, when the civil servants themselves are not getting paid. So nobody's speaking. So the government is just relaxed, he's not putting pressure on the pressure to bring those guys to book. So even more sanctions come out, nothing's going to happen. So to answer your question directly, what's going to happen is that there's not going to be no investigation, my brother. There's not going to be. If anything, going to be a bit of how you call it, fake, something like how do you say that? Facade. It will be facade. What they're doing to do show to all we doing investigation. At the end of the day, Maggie got some money, go somewhere and go relax. So go to Ghana, wherever you're going to go relax. But what happened is not enjoying the immunity, the person as the quasi prime minister of the country. That's going to happen. You see the situation around us. You don't do that. If someone
of course, that stigma, there's a stigma that goes along with that. That there will be that stigma all along. Wherever he lives, like
what is happening? Forget about that in Africa. We got millions of people, like people in Liberia, they've been accused of corruption. They have millions of about people like Alex Taylor, or the former speaker, or they were sanctioned. You remember the concern about the U.S. government, how many millions they took doing that the deal they have with the senator. So he's been held in Liberia. He was part of the government that formed the government. He's enjoying his life in Liberia.
My friend, things are not as simple for
I understand. It's not like the way it is in Liberia. It's just not the way in Africa. It's that way here. When you're here, your life is you will definitely commit suicide, because that's the end of the beginning of your life.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to enjoy any facility anymore, any connection. Nobody's going to employ you if you want a job. Your record on the public side is out. Is out. Just like when you go for a job in this part of the world, they will ask you need to bring police report. Every interview you go for, you have to go for police report. For corruption, or if you're in this one, all those things go through. You're being screened. It doesn't work like Liberia. When you steal more money, you're being held. You are the king. You're the big people. So this is different thing. You saw people singing, one of banger. They know what they did for him. They're singing, prayer singing. And church leader, religious leader, going to pray for this guy to get his job back. You see what's happening? So what you tell me is that there's nothing going to happen to him.
And the House of Senate had just confirmed another corrupt woman to be the Chief Justice of Liberia.
We're coming to that topic. Andre, is our next topic. But I just want to say something to lean for. This government there have been several investigations that have never come to a closure. You know that. So I want you guys to listen to, because you're talking about this. There's something that came up in the early stage when you guys went on a steady spring, and there was a BBC.
So they got shopping spring, they got steady
spring. They get shopping and steady spring. So the steady spring now. I want the audience to listen to this interview. It was done by 2018, 2019.
A very difficult job here. Inflation is still very high. I was in one of the food markets in Monrovia, and a woman said to me, rice is now so expensive, I can't afford to buy it anymore. And I feel that by now prices should have come down, because I voted for you.
I'm not a financial expert, but what I try to do is to make sure that our people get their needs and wants. What I try to do is that to speak to those importers, those that import rice. And I spoke to them that the rice is expensive. We are government, a proper government just came, so you need to lower your price. But again, they found reason to keep their prices or where it is.
Whatever happened to this $105 million worth of government money that somehow disappeared last year without trace? I gather there's an investigation into this. So what's happening with that?
We're able to bring in international partners and our local partners to work together. And we are still waiting for the final results. And then when that results come in, we'll be able to let the public know what happened to that missing money.
It's an awful lot of money to go missing, isn't it?
We cannot give people wrong information because people get in the street for everything. So what we need to do is that, look, even if you have, if you think that something happened, you got to have facts. You understand? So we are looking for the facts. So that if anyone,
We are looking for the facts.
Chima, you are muted.
I mean, look, listen, let's go back to where he talked about the rice. You know, when the as the government, what I know of is the government, when you put us bring their rice, yeah, or their products, if it's of high price, the government get involved to pay some to subsidize it for the citizen to afford. You say, oh, we don't do it, they keep the price steady. So you don't even doesn't know what he's speaking about. That's the one thing. So this is, I see the reason why these people are keeping this guy from speaking to the press. I don't know how the BBC guy got hold of him. But the fact that my judge exposed him big time. Another thing he spoke about right now, you heard him saying, we're still looking at fact. So he don't seem to believe that 16 billion that got missing. It didn't happen. So that's what he's telling us.
See?
Yeah, but he even tried to deny. He even tried to deny what the guy told him. Okay, that's an awful amount of money to get missing.
Yes.
Yeah. Then he said, he said we got to have the fact because everything they put. So he should be saying that we have launched investigation and we will make sure that we get the outcome of that. But he is saying they're looking for facts. So we're going to get it fast from.
I can assure you that this guy's been programmed for a couple of weeks to answer this question. I know before this guy will speak to him, they were saying a list of questions to go through it and see, and okay, don't go off these lines. You're going to go these lines. Then you'll be asked, okay, yeah, you prepared to come. But then he didn't even answer what you were saying. He just keep incriminating himself. He doesn't even know what he's saying. As a president, he said we need to get fast. You don't get fast of 16 billion.
How did Liberia reach this far? How?
It's a very good question.
No, seriously. Sometimes I have sleepless nights thinking because a country of 5 million people and you got Liberians making greater impacts everywhere around the world on different economies. People who are well learned, even back home. Then you go pick one guy, somebody from. I mean, he's a Liberian. I can't look down on him, but you know, I just
but brother, listen, we are failed. Don't forget about the education level. The people got the way the guy present himself, felt that he will make a big change in our country. George Weah was a mistake. We all know that. We need to live with it and see how to get rid of him because this guy is killing us. This interview, they won't grind another more. BBC won't grind another more interview. Trust me. If they get him the second time, they'll finish him. Because what he just said is just out of touch. You can't say that. Yeah, I said I'm not financial expert. As a president, you don't have to be financial expert. Tell us what you know about the country, how it's going. You should be informed by your minister.
No, but as a president, he's even so dumb that he don't know that his office required to have every touch of every sector, have that experience you must have an experience of a financial expert. Because
that's why he's supposed to be talking to the ministers that are responsible for those ministries, the experts. Talk to them. But I don't know how many ministers he talked to. How many times does he have cabinet meeting? I don't hear about these things.
But the man knows the importance of cabinet. What you say, cabinet? What? The man does not know his ethics.
Guys, we need to pray for divine.
No. This time around, that we stopped the praying long time.
I'm a staunch Christian.
No,
God will not do for men what God has given.
No. We're working on it. We have to ask his hands involved.
Look, we stop the praying right now. We're going to make sure by the grace of God that
there is a problem. No, we need
2023, George Weah will be out.
We work. We ask for God's intervention while we're working. You can't just. This is a serious issue for us. This interview, don't run this interview again, Paul. Please stop that. It's not good
Well,
for us.
my man, it's embarrassing. No, it's good for our people to know because
Yeah.
we get few months to go. They will be going back to the poll again to make the same mistake.
Paul, run that interview one more time.
Okay, I'm taking a break for now. I'll be with you. I'm taking a
You're not
break.
Leah, friend.
No, that is embarrassing.
I'm not a financial
You know,
expert.
when I said
Right.
they went on a stealing spring, that's where it started from. And the proof is there until this president can declare his access. When they were building 49 condominium, that's where the money went. So it started from the early days. They didn't stop. So now it actually catch up with them. So they are confused.
Yeah, but
No,
that's
but
what,
the
that's
thing
if
is,
you
the
listen to me
bottom
earlier,
line
I
is,
said they have done a lot of things. So they are entangled. There is no way they can get out. Because I mean, can you imagine? This is just one journalist that pressed a mail. He didn't know what to say. What if Joshua appears in front of international press? I mean, the
no,
guy
but
was sweat.
I think Judge Weah had an interview with another black journalist from one of these East African country. I think he had
This guy, the guy from Kenya,
yes, and that was even
Jeff
the guy
Kwenango.
who asked him about the shoes or something. He said
It was arranged. They told Jeff to ask him the set of questions that he was going to be answer the property in the book. You wouldn't try that with BBC journalists, even Al Jazeera. So the guys that interviewed Ellen from Al Jazeera, she had to
Ellen to come out of her shell.
Yeah, so this is about me.
Yes, journalism is about the fact. You have to look in the person's face and ask them the hard questions and make them to understand that the world know the truth. This is it.
Our time is going. Let's move to the second topic here. The government is demanding. This one is instructing. They are not asking. They are instructing and demanding that all election magistrates around the country to step aside. Now,
and why?
That's a $1 million question. Now, this is happening just when elections are barely 1 year away.
Yeah.
1, 2, like what Andrew was trying to say earlier on about the appointment
Chief Justice
Siane Yo to the position of Chief Justice. Now, magistrates being asked to resign without any choice, then the appointment of a new Chief Justice. You see, if you look in the judicial system, you see what's happening?
Yeah.
Appoint new justice, Chief Justice, that will be in his interest because election is coming. 1.
Yes.
2, make sure you shift around all the magistrates.
Yes.
He said they should all resign and reapply.
Yes.
And they might not get a job.
Yeah. Okay? So they are prepared. Yeah.
Reshuffle. Why can't you change some of the magistrates, the one you think should be changed?
But why is the question
why can't you change them and then replace them? Or you want the entire group to resign? So it will be open. So anybody can can apply. So when those old guys apply, you will say no, you are not. We already got somebody for the job. So you see the trick. So that if the case will, if the election magistrates will tamper with the election results, and the case happens to go to the court, if it will go, because the first thing that will happen is that the magistrate could tamper with the election result and Joshua will win outrightly, okay, with huge margin. So then the case now will go to the court. When it goes to the court, who do they meet? They will go meet who is waiting for them there. So you see, you reading between that line, Paul?
Yeah, what happened here from the start, or let's say the get-go of this government, they said they're going to be in office for 12 years. They have not started yet. They said they'll be in office for 12 years. Whether they perform well or not, they already stated they're going to be in office for 12 years, by hope or by crook. So what they're doing now, they said the people should resign and then appoint their own people. But then local, the woman they bringing in to replace Francis Kokop, right? She married to the strong supporter of the president. Edwin Snow. That's
They
his
are
wife.
divorced. They are divorced according
Forget
to.
that story. They stay
Mhm.
married. They divorce on paper. But look at the connection there. Now, what become of the other judges in the country? What I mean, if you look at when the late Councillor Bronsky took uh, the election matter to court, you remember that woman, her opinion on that too, it favored this president. If you
Yes.
remember that election thing. So
Yes.
looking at those people sitting there by bringing her and the tie she got with the president best friend is Edwin Snow. He in the house, in the out. He knows this woman. To appoint her, think on it carefully. It favor him more when something goes wrong.
Yeah, let me come in and
Yeah,
Paul.
go ahead.
What you said is just, yeah, from the analysis of Paul and the analysis of Linford, it is clear that the CDC government is planning to rig the election come 2023. First of all, they have no right, they haven't come up to tell the public why are they changing all magistrate, electoral magistrate, which is wrong. I don't know what is the prerequisite or the requirement to their job, but I think that, yeah, you can just get rid of a magistrate. They should have something like a time frame that they are supposed to be at that certain position, and we don't know. But the fact of the matter here is it's time the opposition get up and stand up against Weah for what he's doing right now, because this gonna cause problem. They need to do an official letter to the ECOWAS, to the international partners, informing them about what is going on. And secondly, Siana Yo is a corrupt woman. She have a corrupt record. Everything that is done within the chambers, she's always on record of siding with corrupt perpetrators. And let me tell you the link. She and Edwin Snow had divorced. The reason why they divorced because she got into a relationship with Nelson Onyama, the so-called Nigerian beer factory guy. And now this Nigerian beer factory manager, he is the according to some investigation that I got from some journalists, powerful journalists on ground, he is financing the Weah government right now. Apart from the stealing money, all the other job and money laundering and stuff, he is the one doing that. And this is the reason why Weah had appointed her to replace the retired Chief Justice, so that when an election comes and things go the way it go and the opposition happen to go to the Supreme Court for redress, the case will fall on the government side and case closed.
Yeah, but I can also assure you that uh, uh, I hate to say this, but sometimes reality has to come in. You know, Liberians have been there and back. If you understand what I mean. So
Yeah.
you not just play with the people like that.
Yes.
Let me tell you, several things can happen. When United
Yes.
Party, when they threatened the government the last time, what happened? The government reneged on the plan they had. So if you cheat in the political parties in this election, you might just be inviting chaos. And with the bad record that this government already got with the international community,
Yeah.
with sanctions coming, a lot of things might happen.
But I can tell you for sure that the Weah government is in for a surprise, because if they think that come 2023 they want to get a free ride, or they think that they can mistreat the Liberian people for 6 years, carry out rampant corruption, the killing of innocent auditors, and ritualistic killing of our innocent children, where his so-called Solicitor General, who is now on the U.S. sanction, is on a recording for killing innocent virgin and using their part for ritualistic purposes. And if they think that the Liberian people is going to sit down, or we as an advocate or political leaders will sit down and allow him to ruin Liberia or to bring Liberia into chaos, it's not going to happen. Liberia is never going to go back to any senseless war that has already caused us so much,
So,
caused
but
so many Zogos and
Andrew,
Zogoris on the street. The country is no longer safe for just one group of people, greed for power and selfish interest. We are not going to allow that
No,
anymore. This
it may not
protest,
boil down to war, Antrim. It may
Andre,
not boil down to war. I'm telling
this
you.
is called democracy. If the
Yes.
people decide to put him back, they will put him back.
no, the people, you and I know that the people can never put Weah back.
No, you can't say that. That's democracy. People have
No,
the
that's
way
not
of doing.
democracy.
Yeah,
This is why, because he already know everything is clearly written on the wall that he do not stand a chance come 2023. This is why he's using the judiciary means to get rid of why will he get rid of magistrate close to election
okay.
time?
The point I'm making here, you
Mhm.
see, Nathaniel McGay was sanctioned, and after the sanction, the people got on the street. They went back to history. Remember the song, "You came and mine, you came and pa, I will vote for you."
Yeah.
You know both, you know both, I will vote for you.
Mhm.
They sanction you, didn't sanction you, will vote for you.
Yeah.
It's those people. That was it. This is where democracy take place because it's democratic process. How do you get to convince those people that, look, these are all the ills that Andre is just talking about? But with that message reach to those people that go around singing, you steal or you don't steal, will vote for you. I mean, so you can't say that, oh, so that guy, he's the incumbent, they're going to use cash violence. So that's a strong possibility that
But in any case, you still get votes. No,
he will.
even
That's what I'm
me,
saying.
if I get in the election today or the same day, I will still get 1 or 2 persons. That one is democratic
So
fraction.
it's just the
Nobody can
opposition
rule it
have
out.
to do their work to get people on, to get people out to vote. Because remember, 3 million Liberians did not vote in the 2017 election because they were fed that they didn't trust anyone. The same thing may happen again. The bad guys always get their people out to vote. So how do you get the other people to convince and say, look, this time around, if you want that better Liberia, you need to come out to vote.
But Paul, we're not gonna sit down and just talk. No, we too are doing our own work. And we are explaining his evil. So we are sending a message out to him that whatever he's planning, Liberia is never going to go into any chaos anymore. And this is why we are going to take the democratic channel by sending out the warning to the international partners who have spent a whole lot on Liberia to make it peaceful as it is today.
Let me hear Jamal. Jamal, what will be your comment on this justice system that they're replacing all the magistrate and then the nominee of the new Supreme Court Chief Justice, Sienna Yu?
Paul,
Look at the kind of person CNN Yo. Why? Why CNN Yo? CNN Yo who recruit herself from a case because she is the lover of Onyama. How can you? I don't understand. What is going on with this country? Some of us, we're going to put our neck on the line for Liberia if that's what it costs. But Liberia must change. How can you take a woman like this, a woman that will not stand up to a family member or to her lover and tell him that enough is enough? This is where it stops. You abuse this young lady, you rape her as a result, she have these children, you must face justice. But she recruit herself. She was a coward. How can you make her a chief justice? What do you expect? The entire judicial system
Oh,
is
hold
going
on.
to
But the thing
collapse.
is, Andre, she have to go through the process. You know that she have to face the senator. So it left
No,
with
but the
the
senators have already voted. I think only one senator have objected to her, according to the article that I read today.
Yeah, but
20,
if
20 senators voted.
if they accept her, fine. But again,
No,
I
I
think
don't want them to
Paul was trying
accept
to make
her.
us Paul was trying to make a point. The point here is that, you know, not because we all know that there are leopards and tigers and snakes in the bush, we cannot go there. We have to go there. But how we go is a question. Okay. So when we are taking part in the election, our first and primary duty is to inform the voters, to give the ills in the society, to educate them. Voters' education is very important at this point. Let me tell
Yeah,
you, even
yeah,
we can be and this is exactly what the government is trying to do, to play on the minds of the people, to employ some, diversionary tactics, scary tactics, to create all the scarecrows. Okay, yeah, we'll appoint the chief justice. When she's confirmed, she'll be there for us. We'll change
yeah.
all the magistrates and replace them with people. Then we the voters or we the opposition will be afraid.
That's
So
right.
we should also prepare. That's why I said, even we know that there are snakes and other dangerous things in the bush, but when we go there, we are prepared for those things. Okay, so we should be passing a message on, educated voters, talk to our family members, talk to friends, expose the weakness of the government. And let me tell you one thing: the sanctions that are coming will also cripple these guys
Yes,
significantly. One, and as we speak, last week I told you about somebody who was supposed to be leading a sanction or a campaign to go call for more sanction, and that person now I can review it because I told him today. He said I can call his name. Is former Maryland County Senator John A. Balut. He's leading a group that is called We the People. Okay, Friday coming, they are moving to the U.S. Embassy to go thank the Americans for the sanctions so far and call for more sanctions.
yes,
So as we go along the road, and they're not just going to say your post-sanction, they will give specific list, names of people as
yes,
recommendation from their group. So if several Liberian groups will be doing that, if you sanction all the government officials and even some of the lawmakers, okay, some of them don't want to be the financial with slippers walking all around the place. I saw one picture of the old man. I was like, no, it can't be. So these guys will go in their shell between now. Trust what I'm telling you. Between now and 2023, just the last 4 months in this year, in fact the last 3 months coming now, because coming again September, October, November, December, the last 3-4 months, see what will happen after the next group of sanctions. All the Nyama talk will cool down. Who knew today that Serena Silva will be unheard of? Serena Silva, who will stand by Joe Biden. I saw somebody posted one picture today where you're holding Joe Biden, pulling him from the car, like, during the Cummings case, like, walking with him like he was
yeah.
invincible.
So Linford, let me bring Jamal on. I want to hear Jamal's view on this because it's very important. That Jamal, what
Yeah,
would be
thank you.
your view on this?
Thank you very much. Paul, there are guys, we saw from the case of the Justice Janet case up to present. This is nothing hidden here. Our government has an hidden agenda or a public, this is a, how you call it, it's a public secret already that they intend to do something wrong comes 2023. We also know about the census that are going on in the country that was suspended. These are all leading to what the government is keeping to, trying to do to come 2023. There's nothing hidden here. It's an open secret. So those magistrates that were elected, asking them to it's laughable. You're going to ask them to resign, and then you'll be appointed by handpicked by the president, whoever is going to handpick them, and it's going through the House of Senate.
Yeah.
So it's not about George Weah, guys. Let's take it back to the people that we led to those real houses. Are we not questioning their credibility? Are we not questioning their lives? Are we not questioning their will, the commitment to our people? Let's leave George Weah out of this. These guys were elected to serve our people. They are betraying our people right now. What they are doing right now, they were elected to do those things. They are going to sign. George Weah saying a letter. If it's being prepared and presented by the House of Senate, I can't veto it. So it's in his favor. Even he wants to veto, he can't veto it. So what we are saying here, while we are attacking George Weah, let's look into in our own house. Those people that we elected to the various houses, the House of Representatives, the House of Senate, they're not doing good to us. They're not doing justice to our people.
Yeah, and this is where my point comes into when I say that we should do the opposition should do voters education. For example, take one representative from our district and tell him, and tell the people, so they may say you're elected, they may have not done anything. All the bad things that happening in government, they may support him because you vote for it. You think you want the people again. Once you election, politics is about propaganda. All we look at the slightest weak point, and these guys have given the people too many reasons why they should reject them. So the campaign will be easy if the opposition will work hard. But before we go further, I will tell you one reason why the opposition might also be in a serious predicament. Because from that CPP stuff that happened, okay, the bad blood still exists. And I was somewhere, and I was on a talk show somewhere, and the person brought this topic up. What if the way we are operating now continues, and then all of a sudden, old man Joe Boakai and Mr. Weah go to second round, or Mr. Weah and Mr. Cummings go to second round? What becomes of the Unity Party supporters towards ANC or CPP? Or if the other way, what becomes of CPP supporters towards the Unity Party? Because as it stands, there is one evil, okay, that we want to get rid of. One sickness, Ebola, that we want to get rid of. But the way we work together will enable us to get rid of this Ebola. Okay. So if we are divided, how do we? Because to combat this guy, everybody have to work together. Okay. So when they made that point on that talk show, I was like, it makes sense to me. So the way the opposition is proceeding, if they continue like that, well, we might just be in serious predicament. And I have something that I want to read to you, and it comes from one representative. I just screenshot it. I'm sorry, I can't put it on the screen because it will take me a little bit of work to do. But this representative was giving advice to a group of us chatting in one room and insulting each other. The representative says, and I really had the privilege to have sat with senior officials of this Weah-led government who said, we will continue to support the tearing and hurting of Cummings and Boakai people to the extent that even if there is a second round, the level of hate will be so high that they won't reconcile. And the representative goes on to say, I was stunned and completely dumbfounded, but quickly realized it was a plain truth. And this thing you guys playing with is that the United, I know what I want to say, the unity in their stupidity, and we are divided in our soundness. Okay, yeah, she was saying that the seditions, they are united in their stupidity, but the opposition is divided in their wisdom. See, if we could discuss the strengths and weaknesses of both aspirants, it will make better shifting and persuasion. What I'm reading here today is not good sound for 2023. And let me tell you, I was in that chat room. I've already apologized. It was blooded. We blooded each other knows that. Okay? Because people were getting at Mr. Cummings unnecessarily. And this thing persists. It happens every day. And so the group of ANC people out there, we just have to, combat. And when the representative went there ready, then she gave her experience. So with what she said and with what I was talking, where the opposition is at each other's throat, do we have a way out? And considering all of what happening, appointing new chief justice and asking all the justices, the magistrates to resign, is there any chance if we continue like this?
Linford, I watched Spoon Television when this woman called Medina Cooper was on the last time. And most politicians, including the the my standard bearer, they have all been quiet. But I like what she said the last time on her program. If to get the incumbent out, the opposition have one person who is the obstacle in the way. The 90-year-old man should step aside and give the other people the chance to be able to take on this guy. So he sit back, he does all the nasty thing, he does not talk. He have the baddest propagandists that go in about, and those people will not vote when Cummings and George Weah go to the second round. And that is the bottom line. So that space that he occupying now, that space could put George Weah back in his second term. And that is the fact. This 90-year-old man is the problem. If people don't like it, if it was ANC in the by-election they had in Lofa County, mark my word, all the propagandists today that said let's cease fire, they were going to put ANC on the bus. They quiet now because of what happened in Lofa County. That's why they're a little bit mellow. But give them the least chance, they will go without any doubt. They will slaughter you. You say you had a bloody nose, but we couldn't see the blood on your nose in your chat room. But that's how they will go. So the guy who occupied the space, the 90-year-old man, he's the one that need to put fire on to just step aside, and then the people will start thinking right to follow the right person to challenge George Weah. And that's
but he may not be holding all of the people in the party.
No, he may not, because the propagandists that he got, they are powerful enough to get people. Look, think on this. They went with this story that this man tampered with documents.
There is no guarantee. Let me tell you, Paul. Let me finish. There is no guarantee that those propagandists that you're talking about, those propagandists are not permanent, and there is no guarantee that they may push they may roll a vote to the end of the sale.
Granted, but what I'm saying, when they spill the beans into people's ears, those other people that who don't even think for themselves, they will run with it for life. They will tell you in Liberia, say, oh, this Mr. Cummings is good, but he does not have the numbers. Some person will tell you, say, this man is good, but he didn't get a constituent. So because of that, I stick with the old man. So when that old man off the race, then they cannot use that anymore. And that's the point I'm making here. So he is the problem. That 90-year-old man need to be in a care home. Yeah, he be looked after and give space to the people that want to run that country to change it. And that's
the 90-year-old want power. He's still
the argument that a lot of people are making is that people should stop all the assertions like, oh, Cummings is a stranger, Joe Burger is 90 years old. We should ease down. And most of the people who are saying this are people who have been sitting on the fence.
Okay, I'm telling you, the 90-year-old is the obstacle and he's the problem. The fact is, he said for.
So how do you get rid of him?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He'll be told that what Madela Cooper, they say, oh man, we love you, step aside. This is not an area because you've been there for
we were honorably retired.
A lot of people, listen, the point I'm making, a lot of people are suggesting that people people involved should take the persuasive approach.
That man is too old to persuade him. He will not.
You're not entitled to anything. So we should mend the fence for the sake of Liberia and take that soft approach.
No, he will not.
Cannot work together, but the idea remain soft. Approaching the election time, who knows? Some of their supporters from both sides may just switch. That's what. But if the fight continues to go on, it may not be good. That's the point what some people are making.
Linford, this 90-year-old man came up with something. Said, "Think Liberia, love Liberia, right?" That was his message. If you're a true patriot, after serving for 12 years with Ellen, And this is what Madino Cooper was saying. He should be the one to advise the other people to take on this guy because he's the one occupying that space. And he decides, say, you know what? I had enough. I gave you my blessing, your go. We will not be talking this what we're talking about because the propaganda themselves will have no room to sell
Yeah, but
this.
so
They
shouldn't
will back down.
he be persuaded into that?
That man
My man,
cannot be
if you think
persuaded at the
Liberia
stage.
love
You will
Liberia
use
and
the
build
other
Liberia
way.
is his own word, and he truly love Liberia, he
He
must
will
step
step
aside.
aside.
That's the
Yes.
point. Nobody got to beg him. He know he
He
been
will
in the
know
game for
that. He will
55
know
years
that.
serving the country.
Yes, he will know
That's the
that
fact.
the people who are behind him, pushing him, they want to take advantage of him because they know that the people love him, Joseph Boakai, and they feel guilty for not voting for him 2017. They feel guilty that they made a mistake and brought this trouble upon themselves, and they feel entitled that they should vote for him now. But at this stage where our country is, at this junction, he himself know the pressure is going to be on him too much. He's not going to make it. He's very old. He cannot. Yeah, I'm sorry, but at this stage, Liberia do not need a JMB presidency. No, we need a man that is going to be energetic enough, that's going to read through his papers and take his own decision
Yeah.
without someone have to tell him this is what we have to do and have a second thought. He will have to sit down and say, yes, we need to do it like this and this for the country to move forward. We need these people to be prosecuted. We need these people to be brought to justice. So let JMB please honorably retire and give way to an ANC presidency to take the
The thing
country
is,
from
not
him
only
again.
ANC, you get Taiwan on the ground, you get young people with better ideas.
I'm saying ANC because they always saying that
155
Mr.
years he
Cummings,
served the
Mr. Cummings
country for
alone do not make the party. This is a party, an
this.
ANC
Yeah.
party with the
So
Liberian people who are willing to make this man, president come 2023. And it's going to happen, Linford. We're going to work towards it. It caused us not
anyway,
to sleep. You and
having
myself, we
said
here
that,
up to 10 o'clock.
before Jamal come in, Jamal, you want to say something so I can play something, then we'll wrap up here. We've been here for a
All
while
right.
now.
Paul, you taking what the show now?
Yeah, because JMB business getting to me. The men, being careful and be taking care of.
Jamal, the whole process.
Jamal, you muted. Yeah.
No, all right. With the issue of the old man, I know we all know, like, we should know that the old man is a health risk. And he also admitted, which Joe we are saying one of his songs, that they say he squandered 12 years of opportunity. So once you squander that 12 years, I think that's fair enough to say that gives other people the chance to try. And because of the level he's in right now, I don't know how to read it. I don't think they keep saying that Alexander Cummings, Honorable Cummings is desperate. I don't know whether he's desperate. Who is desperate here? You serve 12 years, you squandered your opportunities, and you come back, you tell us somebody else is desperate. They still want to serve. Well, you're not even healthy. You're not healthy enough to run the country. You can't even sit for 30 minutes without sleeping. I mean, those are things we should see. But like we said, this is democracy. We get a chance to vote what we want to put in. It's up to the opposition to tell them who's the right choice, who should be the right person for Liberia, and then that should be the task on the hand of the opposition to sell the right people to Liberians. We saw it, and also talking about the conflict, the issue of in the opposition. So if you see that opposition is not holding together, it's from that saga when they came up with the court case and those stuff that happened and going to court against Cummings, that gave a lot of this they kind of created a lot of distrust in Liberia with regard to the opposition. So that we need to recover those trust, and the opposition need to really, really work hard to make sure those things work. And that's my feed on that. And with regard to the, I think you also see Langford, like within the caucus or in the House that they call the opposition caucus. Where are they today? When after the election, they were all working here and there. They're all gone. They disappeared. Those are where if you have a strong opposition in the House, then you hear this thing happening. I keep saying the House because these people were elected. There's no strong opposition in the House. The other opposition parties are elected or very opposition parties that cross-carpeting to the ruling party because of personal interest. They don't believe in the party. So there are a lot of things we need to work around. We speak about Joshua government. We speak about in our own house, and it will be difficult if what you said, William, for if it comes 2023, and one of the party goes to like ANC had a chance to go for second to go against neck to neck with George Weah, didn't get 51%. Other party may not want to support, so it'll be an issue. So how do we stand there? We need to go back and sit together and forget about personal, personal gain. It's a library. It's above every one of us. It's beyond every one of us. How can we put the country together? But somebody saying that I have to be like the old man. Women saying I have to be. They say, "Oh, why George? This guy has to be the president." I mean, they keep saying Cummings is desperate to face the country. He's not desperate to be president. On the web, he keeps saying, "I'm blessed." I think he's blessed because he's okay enough to live the rest of his life. He don't need anybody help. And the old man will stay.
In any case, actually, there is no fear right here because what I'm saying is that come 2023, either of the parties, given the worst case scenario, that CPP goes with Weah in the final second round, even if Omen Chubaga doesn't give his blessing, the wearied Liberians, some of whom include Unity Party members, will have to vote for the CPP against Weah. Trust me, you can't have everybody voting, okay? And vice versa. If Weah goes with Wale Gani or Wale Women in JMD, I know not all ANC people might want to vote, but the weird ANC people will say, no, we can't take this thing anymore for another 6 years. We'll vote for GMD. See, but the point I'm making here is that, the build up to the election, we shouldn't have that bad blood existing continuously. No, but I'm not saying that everybody should go make peace, but, just people from both us, slow down and let's go.
Leave for,
Yeah.
sorry. Look, this is politics. You don't expect to be walking to the park or a picnic. You're gonna have a bad blood throughout the game.
Exactly.
If you've been following the politics around Africa, what happened in Kenya recently? You follow the Kenyan election.
Finally, when Ghani or Kenyatta had to endorse
Ruta, president, the vice president, he did not like him with him for years. 2 terms served with him as vice president. They liked him. And then they supported Raila Odinga. I mean, so it has to be Bablo. That was the worst scam. People, the fear was there would have been an election, electoral violence, electoral violence, everything. There was a lot of speculation that it was not going to go well. But it came out fine. So you didn't expect it to be okay. What we pray for, there should be no violence. We're going to be some serious challenges in our country. We're going to go against neck to neck. It's going to be bitter. Don't expect that the opposition is going to be blessed one person. It's not going to work. So what we pray for here is we should, like Mr. Comey always say, take your case to the people, explain to the people, this is what we want for the people. What can we do for you? And how can you trust us? Trust us that we'll do it for you. Common way of saying it. That's the politics. We will do it for you. Trust us. They didn't do it for you. We're going to do it for you. Give us this time. We'll deliver. If you tell them they'll believe you, we've seen it here happening like this.
And that's exactly what I was saying. That
we saw it happening in December.
The message to the voters is very important. That's why the opposition from all opposition parties should be concentrating on whether they are friendly or not in their own opposition camp. That's another thing. But everybody should have that message to the voters.
Yeah, but you know what happened? They have the message. That's the thing to add to what you're saying, Linfo, is stop drilling in on personalities.
Yes.
Speak to the issues. With the common issues that we're fixing. And the common enemy of today is George Weah. That's what opposition, that should be the voice of the opposition. And how do you tell them? Don't tell them we're going to give you money. Tell them we will give you this and how we're going to do it. We're not going to pay you we're not bridges overnight. We're going to tell you this is how we're going to do it and how we're going to get the money. We'll do it for you. And give us another chance for the first 1 year or our first 18 or 2 years in power. If you don't see the result, this is what you should do. You're not telling them, just giving these nice words. Politicians are fond of doing that, giving nice words to people. And people are hearing that. And
Exactly.
they are tiring that. What happened? I want to bring back to the December 11 elections in Liberia, the primary, the senatorial elections. What the opposition did, they gave bloody nose to the ruling government. You saw what happened because they were united. They were speaking one voice. But you don't expect that to continue. Almost like a rubber groups. Any rubber group going ahead, they were always going to have faction group. Never ever is. That's just the fact. There's got to be a breakaway.
Also, one thing I know about Liberian voters is that they will always try the leader. When they know that leader not delivering, then the opposition will be the hottest. This is what happened to George Weah and the Unity Party. Okay, so right now the opposition here, especially the CPP, I think they stand a better chance because everybody see Unity Party have had their chance 12 years. They didn't do anything. Okay, so the new kid on the block, which is the CPP, I think they stand a better chance. But Paul, you are looking for something. Did you get it? Can you roll it, or if not, can we just wrap up? Because
I just wanted to share this with the interview that Mr. Cummings had
that's very important
in Nigeria that got George Weah glittering to write some kind of thing that he never did before. So I think it'll be good for us to listen to this interview. And before I play the interview, or after the interview, also I want to play on another song that was raised by the how they call it, the soup student. But anyway, listen to the interview, just about a minute and a half.
A lot of challenges that you would like to fix, like the need for improved schools, better healthcare delivery service, lifting Liberians out of extreme poverty, and so many other issues. But I'd like you to share details, of how you're going to address these challenges.
First thing we have to do to address the challenges is we have to find the resources, the money to do that. Otherwise, it's just talk, as I always say. And so we are going to do the following things to try to find the money. First, we're going to stop the stealing, the corruption, right, and redeploy those resources into these areas we talked about. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on the private sector. So I grew up in the private sector, if you will. I ran Coca-Cola Nigeria, so I'm very familiar with this country. I ran Coke Africa. I had a global responsibility for the company in many functions around the world. So I understand the private sector. I understand how to attract foreign direct investments. I understand what to do to encourage businesses. And through that process, we'll generate the revenue necessary to invest in education, in healthcare. The other thing we'll do different from what other politicians do is we're going to make choices. We're going to prioritize. We're not going to try to fix everything on day one. Because when you do that, you do a little bit of everything and you do nothing well. And so we're going to focus in education, for example, we're going to focus on teachers training and vocational training. In healthcare, we're going to focus on primary healthcare because what kills most Liberians are very basic things: malaria, typhoid, hypertension. So these are the things we'll do differently, but we'll find the resources, we'll make choices, we'll prioritize, and we'll begin to fix Liberian challenges and problems. We're going to privatize many of our state-run institutions. Because again, governments are meant to create the right environment, not to actually run institutions. So private sector investments is another way we'll fix some of these challenges our country faces today.
I don't think there is anything new in that interview that Mr. Cummings has not said, except that he's saying it to foreign journalists and even on a wider platform outside of Liberia. And so the message is clear. I hope the voters can get it. And this is the kind of message the opposition as a whole should be pushing. Okay, because they say if you equal a man physically, you can take honor him, do something. So the opposition, since we are trying to use the entire judicial system as a backup to whatever plan he has, the opposition should also be working with the voters who have the actual power. I mean, anybody can cheat though, but what if the win is clear, where the voters go and vote the opposition? Vote for the opposition clearly over here. It will be hard to cheat. Let me tell you, it will be difficult to cheat. So I think on that note, our time is fast spent. I don't know whether any of you want to make comment on that video, but I don't think there's anything new that Mr. Cummings had not said on the home front. But like I said, except that he's saying it outside of Liberia and even on a wider platform.
Yeah.
Jamal Paul, Andre?
I just want one quick statement on that, Paul, guys. It's like it's giving a much more of international media exposure to our situation in the country, our plight in the country.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know what's going on. You know, he's getting on these platforms is good for us because people think, oh, George, if a football player is doing well in the country, he go around to ask you questions. Oh, he's doing well. He must be doing well because he lives
No.
in Europe. He know better. But if Mr. Cummings goes around making these cases, making these statements, doing the press interview, it's kind of enlightening people what's going in the country. That's not. It's
What's
not going
going on in
well.
the country?
He's telling the people it's not going well as you think. He may be a celebrity outside. He is a problem inside. That's why he's telling them. So he needs to do most of these international interview for international exposure to let them know that George Weah is not all what George Weah is on the football field. He's a different George Weah on the field in Liberia. He's causing more havoc than good. That's the job he's doing, and he's doing very well. I think you should give him more room out there, more rooms out there to speak to the international community. They'll let them know that they're coming, they were able to sing the same song. When they meet him, they'll use the same question or the same issues Mr. Cummings is raising to ask him on those questions. Because if past government, Ellen went around speaking the same level where they were giving the people to get exposed to what's happening in Liberia. Somebody need to go out there. That's what he's doing right now. He's doing a great job.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jamal is right here. And when I said earlier, that's what Weah is now say, wait a minute, this now is going because Mr. Cummings is touring the West African region. And he's speaking to the media over there, actually telling this guy is corrupt. One last thing is just few seconds to see the reason why I want to put the last one up. Then you'll see why Weah is not
I think
jittering.
we can replace President Weah. And again, I remind people that his performance has been just abysmal. I don't know if you're aware, but the United States government just sanctioned 3 top officials in the government for corruption. The Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, the President's Chief of Staff has been sanctioned by the United States government. The Solicitor General of Liberia has been sanctioned by the United States government, and so has the head of the National Port Authority, all for corruption. This is damaging to the president, the government. He has not reacted in the right way to the seriousness of the allegations. Another reason why I think we have a wonderful opportunity to replace him and restore good governance to our country.
Now, that's the reason, because he's out there and making a case that the now sanction the corrupt government is getting to Weah and his party, his group, his cloning.
But he mentioned he mentioned it in a letter. We are mentioning it, where Cummings is telling him how to run the government.
So,
but anyway, like I said, let me tell you, the pregnant woman, you can deny I'm not pregnant, but you're not had it. Will come out. So we're waiting for the second batch of if there will ever be many more sanctions coming, and then we'll know.
Another parable. I love that parable. The pregnancy can go behind.
You came from.
I care how you had it.
This sanction here, we'll see what will happen. The first group, that get 3 people and people shaking like this. They were shaking already. So if the other one can and 5 or 10 people on it, we're moving sports more. We're moving.
We're moving.
Yeah.
So
I care what we are doing.
That
belly will come in from the entire Liberian people will see that belly shooting. Whether that twins or that triplet, we will see it. You will not have it
music and then we can close up. You got it set, or everybody can give that closing, that parting comment. Just 1 minute, or Jima, Andre, just how you felt about the show today and what you think should be done. No, just one second.
I want to send a shout out to my SB. Yes. Thank you for the message. The message was clear and direct to the international world, and continue to do that. Continue to go to the international media to make your case. In the case of the Liberian people, let the world know that this government have subjected the people of Liberia to the shackle of poverty. It's nothing like merrymaking as he seemed it to be outside. No, it's a different thing going down there in Liberia. The people are suffering. They cannot afford a 15 meal a day. So thank you Thank you, Mr. Cummings. Thank you for the real change that is coming. I believe in you. That's why I'm on this train. And I'm not going to get out until you become president of the Republic of Liberia come 2023. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
I want to say I wish everybody well. Thank you very much. A great show, and let's keep committed. We need to keep Liberia people informed, and we got to keep them informed about what's going on. For now, for our very setting here, I think we're doing justice to the show to let the people know our view. We give our own personal perspective. We are not being very personal here. I think we look at it fast as Liberia. Liberia is beyond every one of us. I think we should see it from that end. And I want to wish you all and have a lovely, lovely week.
Paul?
Yeah, I'll say thanks to you guys. It was good being back here. It was a great show. Let's continue this and stick to the facts, the information that is out there. We'll put it out there for people to see, that we don't just talk. We show evidence of what we have seen. And the conversation was good. And let's continue to electing our people. Maybe some of them will see reasoning why to stop spreading all sort of misinformation, because that's what the people are doing. And I also pray that a 90-year-old man see wisdom to say, look, children, I gave you my blessing. Let me get all of this raised so we can have a better Liberia. So on that note, I'll say, guys.
Amen. I say a big amen to that.
Yeah.
Let a 90 years old in the name of Jesus see reasons to step aside in the name of Jesus.
So
amen.
do you have the music, or can we just close up?
I want to play the new music that
Yeah,
they made so we
King.
can close it. This is the University of Liberia student made a new song for the President George Weah. So I want you guys to please listen to this. It's very nice.
I think they need to add a sound to that particular song, like what they did to what is guy named to Fagon. It will be a hate.
Yes.
He said he's a former Buga president.
Yeah.
I like that place.
No, actually, it's a good song. It's a good song.
Yeah, they need to go to the studio and read.
The meaning is why for me important. Where they say the play will not pass. To be here, you think that small play that you will make us scary? You can appoint all the judges. You can make us scary. They say, even though they say the witch that is okay when you take all the witch, you can say Miss Small Child scary, but then now you say, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we like to end this edition of the program, The Bottom Line.
That's the mighty, indomitable
Andre, we're closing. Andre is in Belgium. Paul and Jamal, they got our own thing going on in the UK with the Premier League. We don't want to go into that, but I hope you guys will sort your thing up. But it was a great show, gentlemen. And next Saturday or coming Saturday, I think Paul is going to be here along with Jamal, depending on their schedule. But there is this edition of the program, the Bottom Line, that is called the ANC Night or ANC Special. They feature prominent people from the ANC. And so they're going to be here on Saturday. If you have the opportunity, you can join them. And please go back to the video. You can catch us on Facebook. You can also catch us on YouTube. And our online radio is there as well. Today we didn't really display the link, but we know you got it. And so, but you can go back on a video, leave your comments if there's something some suggestions that you want to make to the show. You can also do it. And I think, guys, we got to reach a point where we got to ask some of our viewers to check in if we can put our cash app or some address there. No, we want to make this platform big, and we want to keep it going. We want to improve it. So, if the team can agree, we will be doing something like that, because to sit here for 2 hours with enough for us, and don't think that we're not asking for money. But what we're trying to do is we want to extend. We sit here and talk, like we only talk to a few of you. We want to extend outside. That is in Liberia. We want to have a radio show where when we're talking, it can be simultaneously on the radio. That's our plan. We want to do that. But we have not reached that decision yet to come to you. We will come to you. So we're just informing you for the future. So the day we're coming to you, you say, oh, you're taking us by surprise. So those of you, our viewers, keep that in the back of your mind. Be making some small plans somewhere. We will work on it. If it succeeds that we can get on the radio in Liberia, then we'll be coming to you, because I'm in the media. Jima has been in the media. We know that airtime is very expensive. The time we sit here and spend it, we can be doing other things. Okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just talking to ourselves, we want to reach out to people. And the internet, the reason why radio is important in Liberia in this particular dispensation is that our people, in the countryside, they don't have internet, they don't have electricity. Okay, so at least they can put one battery in a small radio. That one radio, many people can go around and listen. So this is the plan that we're working on. And if it works, then we'll be getting to our viewers to chip in whatever you can chip in, so that we can keep the show on the air. And so I think this is how we're going to leave you. There are not many comments today. It was all about little things. So people just saying thank you, guys, for the show, and thank you, bottom line. And so it's normal. So there was no critical comment here, so we cannot bring you any comments today. But it was good that you guys commented. Those of you that commended us, Orito Menon, Chadela. You guys also did work to sit there for 2 hours plus. That was great. Yeah, that was great. So let's say good night to all of you, and we'll be back here.
Thanks to our viewers.